Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sean McKay, aka The Lousy Investor. And today I wanted to talk to you about a topic of how to level up your life. So, this is the idea of getting some clarity and understanding what you want to do and how you can move forward with accomplishing your goals. All right, so the first thing we have to do if we want to level up is we have to get that clarity. We have to understand what our burning desire is. Now, the first thing I would say is we probably don't want to have a bunch of goals that we want to accomplish simultaneously. We need to probably focus on one or two things that are really core that are going to make us the most happy to move forward and to accomplish. So step number one is making that list. One, two, maybe three things that we want to get done so that we can really focus and move forward with that. Now, for a lot of you, you have that idea. You have your goals of what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, whether they're financial goals, they're personal goals, you have some sort of general clarity. But as so many of us run into, there's that just general frustration that we get on a regular basis because we don't seem to be making any progress. Year after year goes by, but we're still at that same job that we don't like. We haven't increased our net worth. We're not buying investments. We don't have that boyfriend or that girlfriend that we want. We just kind of feel stuck, and that's completely understandable. So the reality is, for most of us, we're not able to move forward because of the way that our lives are constructed. We have so many positive modern amenities today, but the problem is that so many of them are a distraction for us, and they're actually causing significant issues when it comes to our productivity and the way our brain is actually operating. So don't worry, guys, I'm not going to spend a lot of time getting into a really scientific discussion, as I frankly flunked a couple of science classes in high school. But what I can tell you is that I've realized after doing a bit of research that the biggest problem that I certainly have is this idea of dopamine hits. And so in today's world, dopamine can be one of the biggest catalysts for us to be able to be productive and to move forward, but it can also be the thing that keeps us from accomplishing our goals. All right, so some of you have experienced or at least heard of what's called the runner's high. And the runner's high is where you're running for usually a longer period of time, and at some point during the run, your body's feeling great, it's sending great signals to your brain, and you get what's called that runner's high. So that's a dopamine hit. So there's chemicals that are flowing through your body that make it a really positive experience. The problem is, in today's world, we can get that dopamine hit from so many easy and quick activities that it can really take away from our productivity. So if you're playing a video game, if you're drinking alcohol, dopamine is something that is triggered in our body that makes it a really positive experience for us. And that's okay. I realize we're all going to have kind of our different preferences for how we want to live our life. But as we're looking at our goals and we're realizing that we're not able to move forward, it's because we're able to get this positive sensation from these activities in life that are actually not productive for us. So now that we've clearly identified what our goals are, and quite frankly, we've been really honest with ourselves about what our lifestyle is and where we're spending our time. So again, it's unproductive things that are giving us that dopamine hit. We realize that the next step is we have to remove things that are giving us that quick, positive sensation, but it's not actually helping us move forward. So as much as it might be painful, the next time you think about getting just completely blasted with your friends at a bar, if you understand not only do you have the chance of having a significant hangover the next day, but it's actually making you a weaker person mentally because you're not wanting to spend your time getting positive dopamine hits from activities that are going to move you forward. You're just simply getting it from things that are going to destroy your body. So the more we're able to remove elements that are giving us these dopamine hits, the more we're able to have a clean life. And I'm not just talking about a physically clean life. I'm talking about a life where you're removing a lot of the distractions. And again, I'm not preaching to anybody. I'm certainly not perfect. I've definitely been known to have a few beers in my day. But ultimately, when I'm not being productive, I can look at my life and I can say it's due to the fact that I have so many negative distractions. So as we remove these distractions, what we're realizing is that our body still wants to be getting these positive hits, these energetic dopamine hits. And so ultimately what happens is as the negativity is removed, it gives us much more space to be able to fill that with our core desires and the things that we want to spend time doing. So that is a really easy and simple way to think about the removal of the trash, if you will, and being able to have space for the positive things, the productive things for our life. So now that we have space for these positive activities, let's talk about what that looks like. And I can tell you from my own experience, one of the biggest mistakes that I've made is when I have wins in life. So let's say that I have a certain financial goal. I want to own 5 houses or 10 houses or 20 houses, whatever the number is at that point in time. When I hit that goal, what I found is that if that is as far as I've thought through in terms of my ambitions, I have a tendency to get stuck, to not be able to move forward because that's as far as I've dreamed and that's as far as my ambitions have taken me. And so ultimately what happens is I'm not able to get those positive reactions from activities because I've kind of put the cap on my financial life, if you will. And so with that comes this inability to get future positive dopamine hits from these positive activities. So I found that what happens is I start to do other activities, whether it's on social media, whether it's drinking a few beers, so that I can get some sort of positive recognition from my activities. So in a nutshell, my suggestions are this. If we can remove as many of the distractions as possible, that will give us more space to be able to spend time in our really productive activities. The other thing that I would say is for those of you that are savages, you're out there, you're able to work for 20 hours a day, this video honestly isn't for you. But for those of you that feel as though you struggle to maintain the motivation, one thing that I've tried to do is make the core activities that I'm striving for as positive as possible. And so when I'm trying to spend more time being physically fit and working out, I'll try and make it as positive as possible. So it could be something as simple as making sure that I'm playing music that I really enjoy while I'm working out, so that it's giving me something to look forward to and it's making it a really enjoyable experience. I've actually noticed that my wife will actually, as she even accomplishes something, sometimes she'll even make a list of the thing that she's already accomplished, just so that she can physically check it off of her box, because I think she understands that she's getting that dopamine hit from being able to see that win, that tangible result. Now, again, she isn't at the top of the mountain. She's still kind of moving through her activities, but that gives her some sort of positive reinforcement that she's doing the right things in the right time. So hopefully that helps, and good luck on your journey to productivity. And if you feel like you got some value today, please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks so much.